Hello once more. To begin this episode smoothly, let's look at this sudden geomagnetic disturbance which took place just before 12 UTC on 1st of August. This jolt was rather strong, and closer to northern pole it reached more than 200 nanoteslas. What is even more important is the fact that it was recorded on the opposite side of the globe, exactly at the same time. There are no problems to find the event which was responsible for this geomagnetic disturbance. There was another spike recorded by ACE satellite. However, I think that it was the shift of BZ magnetic component what caused this sudden jolt on ground magnetometers. What makes me sad is the fact that the impact was erased from the old SWMF monitors. Although it was visible there 2 days ago. The spike is still visible on the new monitors, which don't work right now. However, it arrived half hour after the time. Luckily, this event didn't affect the seismic activity. I can't see any earthquake which would be clearly connected with it. However, couple hours later, earthquakes started to pop out like mushrooms after rain. And from the beginning of 2nd of August, we've had quite a lot of strong shakes. But I think that the most important was the 6.1 quake in China, which took place at 8:30 UTC on 3rd of August. I don't know if it is a factor, but at this time Earth started to be influenced by fast solar wind stream, and the velocity grew from 300 almost to 500 kilometers per second. Although the SWMF plus RCM monitors stopped to work 2 days ago, readings from the older magnetosphere cuts show some clear plasma outflows which took place at the time of quake. Not to mention all the reconnections and increased backside pressure, which visibly started to grow soon before the quake. The disturbances can be seen as well on the old magnetopulse position monitor. However, exactly at the time when the quake was taking place, the strength of cosmic influence dropped. But let's move to the ionosphere. First I would like to check if, just as before, there was some strange activity on the neutral gas temperature monitor sometime before the quake occurred. As we can see, there were some visible disturbances above the epicenter around 4 hours before the quake. Only this time the temperature was elevated until 8 UTC, and it started to drop around the time of quake. Some strange activity is visible as well in the electron density at 300 kilometers. The amount of negative particles started to grow exactly at the time of quake and exactly above the epicenter. The HMF2 monitor is also worth to look at. Even if there wasn't too much taking place around 8:30 UTC, there were some interesting disturbances on the previous day and after the quake, but I can't say if they were somehow connected with the increased seismic activity. However, the connection is quite possible, as the biggest disturbances took place right over the epicenter. Possible cause can be seen on the current ring monitors, where two simultaneous field lines were connected to our equator. And joined with each other couple hours later. What was followed by a total discharge of all particles in the current ring. Similar discharge took place almost exactly 22 hours later. But now it is time for one of my favorite monitors, polar cap potential. Instabilities started around 3 hours before the quake and were visible for the rest of the day. I'm not sure how it fits to the entire image, but the fact that those enormous cosmic rays started to hit us again is probably important as well. Maybe it has something to do with all those impulses which are visible on GOES images. I've never seen so many of those disturbances in such short time. But when we look at the soundings, we will see even more disturbances. But this is not all. It seems that there is some kind of pulse which is being recorded day after day at the same time, between 4 and 5 UTC. Weird. I wanted to look for some clues on the Timis P1 and P2 graphs, and I was pretty surprised. Instead of a single object, which was visible here before, we can see 3 separate disturbances. But it gets even weirder when we compare the readings of these both lunar satellites. It seems that both crafts are recording those disturbances exactly at the same time, what is quite odd, as they are moving in opposite directions and they are passing the moon at different times. My guess is that those three anomalies are rather some kind of waves than solid physical objects. For the end, I would like to speak about lightnings. Around 1 year ago, I've noticed that in some parts of the globe, atmospheric discharges became a real threat. Besides killing people, they started to cause huge wildfires, ignite homes, or even blow up gas installations. I've connected it with the fact that the radiation belts were at this time seriously overcharged with high energy electrons. However, it looks that this conclusion was wrong. Right now, the radiation belts are almost completely lacking particles at higher energy levels. But it didn't change the fact that today lightnings are just as dangerous as they were 1 year ago. I've made a small search on Google. Those are some of the latest accidents which involve a lightning strike. Those news are only from last 3 days. Class dismissed. Peace.